Well, the word superpower is frightening to me. I was a petitioner at the United Nations for a long time, and I also know that the whole world was supporting us to free our country. It's the last colony in Africa. Now I also appeal to you that you are also going to support us as you are supporting us to be free, so that we can develop our country too. Now, I was just coming from another meeting where we were Saudi Arabian delegate and also from Norway, Prime Minister, and they were talking about that oil is still going to be here. We cannot say we're going to get rid of it. So I quickly jumped in to try to reassure them that we also discovered oil in Namibia from Total and also Shell. So don't worry about that. That's also going to be. And some people say, when you are talking about you are transitioning to the hydrogen, how do you talk about oil still? It's no contradiction. The oil is going to be short-lived. Hydrogen is a long way to go. So throughout that progression, we want the world to join us. Already we have friends from Germany and Belgium and so on. But we are just told that we are having a possibility of green hydrogen. We're told it's the future of the world. So that's why Namibia wants to be a superpower, because we are tired of just being a small players. So join us. We are saying we are trying to invite investors, those who are interested in. We already gave some people a license upon request to offer what they can do, also involving Namibians. How are Namibians going to benefit from that? How are you going to involve the locals and so on? So that company, yesterday they presented at our house what they will do. So it's true, Namibia is not a superpower, but we want to march towards next generation of energy. That's Namibia.
Sir, I'll come back to you about green hydrogen, the challenges in a few moments' time, the financing needing and the ability to get to scale on what is a very difficult technology at this stage. Deputy Prime Minister Ribera, apologies. This is the second time you've had to speak to me today. Thank you very much indeed for our earlier interview on CNBC. Look, just tell us about the Spanish plan as well. I've had the pleasure of speaking to you and Prime Minister Sanchez as well in the last 48 hours as well. Spain does have a plan as well, and it's not just for Spain, it is for the whole of Europe, you believe.
But may I come first to this superpower definition?
You absolutely may, yes.
Thank you. Because I think that one of the most beautiful things about this transformation is that anyone can be a superpower. And this is an incredible difference from what we have been witnessing and experiencing up to now. But of course, probably this means being much more humble, much more balanced, and much more cooperative. And I think that this is also a beautiful approach. To my mind, what we need, and this comes back to your question, is to have a good understanding on the assets and the challenges that we have around us. So how we can combine these assets, this additional value that we can provide, how we can play with that, and how we need to identify the barriers, the difficulties to overcome them. So building a plan, as you say. Setting the conditions to facilitate this transformation towards those goals, so to walk the path of that plan, paying attention on how we can deliver. If we do not deliver, we do not become a superpower at any price. And this means aligning the different pieces: regulation, finance, capital skills. I think capital means human capital skills, and paying much attention to the social dimension. I think that to become a humble, balanced and cooperative superpower, we need to pay attention to the society needs and where there can be people that feel the threat. And yes, I think that we can play that role in Spain, because we have understood where the assets may be and where the tricky questions that deserve attention maybe too. And I think that being cooperative and working with all the partners, not only at the domestic side, but at the regional or eventually in the external dimension, is very important. Otherwise, being isolated, that would not work.
Yeah, Deputy Prime Minister, you've already raised a very important issue, that it's not about a single entity potentially. it's about a collective action. So that is very different, of course, from traditional superpowers who have attained their superpower status in energy on their own domestically and thereafter have joined together with other superpowers. I'm talking, of course, about OPEC. Henrik Andersen and Sumant Sinha as well. You're going to represent the corporate side of things as well, and you're both having immense success, and I'm sure the room knows very much about that. But it's a success, Henrik, in Vestas' case, which is built on decades of progress. But all of a sudden, the progress that you believe is being made is happening exponentially quickly. And it's taking off now as well, because the story of Vestas, and it's one I've followed for the last 2 decades, has not always been easy, despite the aspirations you've shown.
Thank you. And I think the superpower for somebody that is born in Denmark and raised in Jutland will always sit at a distance, because here it's about doing things and consistently doing things over time. And I think that if I come away from Davos, that could be a fantastic thing. There is no quick fix from a Friday to a Monday. But if we take Vestas, we've done over 4 decades, 159 gigawatt of installed base. It displaces 217 million tons of CO2 a year. So it matters over 40 years. And that's what I'm just encouraging people to say here. The last 10 years, fact is, the levelized cost of energy now is cheapest if you go renewable. So sit here and plan for 20 or 30 years and opening new things. A panel of solar or a turbine is ready within 12 months if Teresa gets the permitting. But we can talk about that in a second. But it is now where we just have to say that the strategic tool, and we offer Vestas as a strategic tool to not only the room, but also to the surroundings here, because we would like to be used as the strategic tool to plan for the future. And that's where we are.
Who'd have thought that Vestas would have come here to WEF at this CNBC panel as well to try and close a deal with Spain, eh? Goodness me. Of course business is done at WEF. We're not naive as well.